Hi, my name is Heather O'Neill, and this is my Module 1 Educational Research AEP 803 video. So, all about me. I'm 37. I'm married with two boys. I've been with my husband since I was 17. We got married when we were 20. I've taught special education for 8 years in Minneapolis, Kansas. I was a resource room teacher for grades 4 through 6. Currently, I'm teaching in Oskaloosa, Kansas, and I have 5th through 12th grade, more of a functional special ed room. More about me, I went to Bethany College. I got my bachelor's there in elementary education and an endorsement in PE K through 9. I went to Fort Hays State for my master's in special education. I love to hike, kayak, camp, garden, and farm. We're a pretty active family. We do lots of things outdoors together. So my goals as a functional special education teacher, my main goal is that I want to teach kids life skills. So I want to make them independent, successful adults who can have a family, that they can live on their own, to have some assistance or minimal assistance. I want my students to have a job that they enjoy. The classes I teach with my students, I have adapted math, adapted reading. I do an adapted culinary class with a coffee cart. We do a financial peace class, which is through Dave Ramsey. We do adapted science, adapted history, and social studies, and anything else that we need to squeeze in between. So currently, my year, I have a staff of 4. I shared my 5th to another teacher in need more than me. So it's kind of pinched us this year, but that's okay. We're making it work. I have almost half my caseload that chose to go remote this year, and that's been very difficult because my classroom is really hands-on. And so the parents made that choice for the health of their children, and so I fully respect that, but it has made it very difficult for us. I'm also currently mentoring 3 teachers. I have one teacher that has been a speech para in our building. She's my co-teacher for 9th through 12th grade. One teacher has come from a different district. She's been a previous resource room teacher, but she currently has an ED kind of functional classroom K through 5, so she's the other part of my program. And then I have another teacher that just moved to us. She started 4 weeks ago, so she started into the school year, and she's previously been an art teacher. So 2 of them are going back and doing the apprentice program. So I'm really excited about having new teachers on board and changing some culture, but it definitely is a lot of work and a crazy school year. So like I said, it's a lot of work, but I really am excited to make some changes and change the culture in our building. I feel like we've gotten away to being student focused, and so I feel like this will kind of bring back, as I get to mentor these teachers, some new thriving culture. Other things going on in my classroom and in my world is we're doing a lot of life skills and teaching. I'm co-teaching with my speech teacher and my other 9th through 12th grade teacher. We are doing a coffee cart / adapted culinary class. We just recently made masks. We made 2 masks and an apron from 1 t-shirt. So the kids did some cutting, no sewing. It was a very simple project. And then we've also been doing some cutting practice. So the picture I have showing is one of my students putting some peanut butter on some celery that they did some practice cutting on. So what is action research? I gotta say, I actually learned quite a few things with this project. So action research is a task that's your own research and practice. It's often small scale and only affects change in your own space. And many times it follows a pattern. You're gonna plan, you're gonna make a change, you're gonna review the change, kind of asking yourself, how can you make this situation better? What did you learn from it? Another thought on action research is it's about making improvement of a situation through participation in cycles of planning. So that same pattern, you're going to act, observe, and reflect, creating some possible changes, hopefully for the better. So continuing on, what is action research? What are the 4 main types of action research? There's individual, which is more just an individual teacher focusing maybe on a single change in their classroom. Collaborative might be a grade level group of teachers or several teachers, maybe in a specific curriculum, or like math or reading teachers. English teachers, teachers focus on a single classroom or maybe on multiple classrooms, and this may be a district-wide issue, but the focus remains on a few classrooms or a single classroom. A school-wide action research is where the school faculty pick an area or a problem of concern, and they collaboratively and of collective interest, and then data is collected, it's organized, and it's interpreted to hopefully make changes for the better. And then district-wide, this is very similar to the school-wide, but it's just on a larger scale, and this may involve multiple schools. I have a small district, so we only have one school, but other districts have multiple schools, so you may have multiple administrators involved as well. So what's the goal of action research? So the goal of action research is to create simple and practical ways to have repeatable processes for learning and making change. This allows for evaluation and improvement, perhaps in your classroom, in your hallway, whatever your focus is. And this creates better students, teachers, programs, and schools. So if we start with having better students and better teachers, by having better programs, it ultimately makes our school better. So what's the goal of action research? We're going to evaluate outcomes, we're going to enhance student achievement, and improve educational outcomes. So what are the main steps of action research? I like this one because it's very simple and easy to remember. You're going to plan a change, you're going to act, you're going to observe, and you're going to reflect. This is why action research is such a great tool, because it's something that you can easily repeat over and over to improve things in your classroom. So again, more steps: planning. You're going to inquire. You're going to maybe pick something to be tested. You're going to pick something to be tested, not maybe. You're going to do some research. So literature review, some sort of research to gain better understanding. You're going to design process. You're going to determine what data, determine the ethical issues that need to be solved, and you're going to get permissions needed, perhaps permissions from students or parents to participate in the research. And you're going to create a deadline to set up your system. Your action: you're going to experiment and you're going to collect data. You're going to analyze and organize the data and look for patterns or trends. And then in your conclusion, you're going to share your research and reflect on your practice. So what's the difference between action research and traditional research? Well, action research is something I didn't realize I was doing more of than I thought when I started this project. So action research is done through your practice. So it's you implementing something as you are actually involved in the research yourself. It's focused research to make changes and improvements on a specific problem or issue. It's also focused on a specific problem to improve classrooms and allows the teacher to be involved in the research. It's a step-by-step process that can repeat in order to improve a problem. So you can continue the cycle as you continue to seek out new topics or materials or programs, etc., until you find the ultimate best solution. So what are common problems associated with action research? So research from a specific teacher may not make it outside the classroom. Sometimes we get busy and things get crazy and we've done all this research, but we don't really get it shared with anyone else so others can benefit from it. School-wide action may cause, some conflict in the beginning, and then information may not be distributed evenly, and some may feel that it's a bit messy, sometimes causing some trust issues if some people are hoarders of information and others don't feel like they've been included enough. So evaluating my own teaching practice, how could action research help improve my teaching? So action research could completely help my teaching because with special ed, I feel like it's always trial and error, and we're always trying to find the best practice and the best program for our students. So it could definitely help improve my teaching by focusing on a specific student behavior. Sometimes I'm currently having a few student behaviors, so we are still trying to figure out what those are. So kind of having this action research, it makes me think about how can I pinpoint some things a little bit differently. So this research would allow me to improve student behavior and student success. Action research improves student learning by improving materials, programs, and behaviors. It also improves teacher performance by providing improved teaching practices and programs. So getting critical. Personal and professional, I tend to get overwhelmed when it's all new things that come out at us when we are at in-service a lot of times because it doesn't always apply to me. Since I'm not a general ed classroom, many times a blanket statement or a blanket program doesn't really work for me. So I have 20 different programs going on all the time. So many times I kind of feel like, oh my gosh, one more thing that we're supposed to be doing, and then I kind of put it by the wayside. So I am always looking for new ways to improve and learn in my classroom. And so I'm trying to push my co-special ed teachers to be more collaborative. And learning to work together. So I think action research would be a great way for all of us as a small group to implement some small changes that it's data driven to make our changes. This would be a great collaborative group too, because we have a lot of, outgoing people in our group that want to make change and do what's best for kids. So as far as our district, I feel like we do a lot of action research. Again, this is only my 4th year in this district, so I'm still trying to figure out how things work. But oftentimes it seems that we do something for a year and they hammer and hammer and hammer us with it, and then it kind of goes away maybe in the middle of the 2nd year. And so then we're kind of moving on to something new and flashy or some new, innovative program. And so this does not allow for adequate implementation and change. So I feel like we try it, but we don't really get that follow through and that the data to say whether this program worked or not before we're moving on to something else. So, many times it feels like we as teachers are overwhelmed by all the information, the action research going on. There's tons and tons of good ideas, but I just don't feel like we've had the complete cycle that we can come back and actually say that we followed through with it. And student success is often gained, but I feel like it's less success than if we would have just been able to complete a cycle for, a few times of trying out some new materials and programs and things like that. So, I believe that we could have more success if, we had more time to actually work on some of these programs or materials that are being thrown at us. So how does this support So how well does this support the educational success and well-being of each student and adult regarding our components? So action research for component 1.2, action research, individuals or collaborative teams can share data collected in order to improve process for individual students and perhaps the whole classroom. For component 4.1, I believe that action research can help to pinpoint specific technology or programs that are the most successful in student engagement and growth. Continuing on, sorry about that. Component 4.2, this allows for improved programs that provide equity by allowing all students access to, digital literacy, some digital programs, no matter what level they're at, that this allows all students to be at the same program, but working at their specific individual level. 4.3, action research teams are able to provide specific informal and formal data collection systems to improve student learning through data. And 4.4, action research allows district research and collaboration to assess curriculum through practice and implement the most effective program. So standard correlation, I felt that this assignment tied directly into the standard. This assignment gave me a lot of knowledge of a practice that I kind of have been doing, but I didn't really know that's what it was called. But it gave me some more understanding and that I can make my research a bit more formal and specific to gain much more information to improve my program and student learning. I can keep my action research going on in a cycle. Okay, so the reflection, this actually really was a great assignment to clear up a practice, like I said, I've already been using. I just didn't realize this was the term that it was called. It gave me some clarity that I feel like I can use this with my paras as well, that they can be part of the action research and they could each be researching their own topic or task, material or program. So, and then along with my future teachers that I'm mentoring right now. I'd like to start using this, with my new teachers, because I feel like starting with them fresh, that they can just be immersed in learn as they're going. So it would be a great way for all of us to learn along the way and gain great data. And then relevant, this assignment was very relevant to my job as a special education teacher. I feel like I'm always researching and collecting data, but this gave me a clearer way to research and learn from my research. And my references. Thanks.